Good morning, dear student. Today our topic is about real and apparent weight. Now to discuss this real and apparent weight and to differentiate between these two, we will take a special case, a mass in a lift or a weight in a lift. So first of all, to start our topic gently, let me define real and apparent weight first. What do you mean by real weight? Real weight is the earth gravitational force on the body. What does it mean? It means that the force with which the center of earth attracts something is called its weight. It is represented by symbol W and is given by mg, where m will be the mass of the object and g is acceleration due to gravity. Now what do you mean by apparent weight? Apparent weight is to support to give support to a body against the gravity. Here the force needed to support the body against gravity, this is called apparent weight. Now to explain these two in detail, let me take a special case, which is weight in a lift. Weight in a lift. Say suppose we have a lift or elevator. This is in elevator or lift. Here is a spring balance and a mass m is suspended with this spring balance. This is mass m. This is a spring balance having certain scale on it. And here is an observer standing in the lift. This is an observer, this is spring balance, this is a mass hanged with the spring balance. Now, we will discuss four cases when the lift is at rest or when the lift is moving with an acceleration in upward direction. Second case, if the lift is moving in downward direction with some acceleration. In four cases, weightlessness. Now in first case, let's suppose we say that acceleration is 0 or lift with 0 acceleration. Lift with 0 acceleration. Two cases arise here. If lift is 0 acceleration, it means that either lift is at rest or lift moving with uniform velocity. In this condition, say suppose this is tension in the string which is in upward direction, this is weight of the body of mass m which is mg in downward direction, and acceleration of the lift is 0, lift does not accelerate. So the net force in this case is calculated as F net T minus mg, because tension is in upward direction and weight is in downward direction, so the net force will be the sum of these two forces. As we say that acceleration in this case is 0, when the acceleration is 0, by Newton's second law of motion we know that F equal to ma. This force will be 0, so let me write it ma equal to T minus mg. A is equal to 0, so m into 0 equal to T minus mg. So this will be 0, the net force acting on the lift is 0, T minus mg, T equal to mg, and mg is weight of the body. So tension in the string is equal to weight. In this case, we see that the real and apparent weights are equal. Are equal. Now let me explain this case once again. We said that suppose lift acceleration of the lift is 0. So two cases arise here. Either the lift will be at rest or the lift will move with uniform velocity. So for both of the cases, we said that the net force will be equal to sum of these two forces, tension and weight. So we say that acceleration is 0, so the net force acting on the lift will be equal to 0. So 0 equal to T minus mg, or arranging this equation we get T equal to mg or T equal to W. This W is the real weight and tension is the force which balance this weight. So hence real and apparent weight are equal. Tension will be the force, the weight which is given by this scale. So second case, when the lift is moving with some velocity, some acceleration, say suppose we say that case 2. Now in this case, the lift is moving in upward direction with certain acceleration, say suppose like this. This is acceleration of the lift A. What will happen in this case? Tension in the string will be in upward direction and weight will be similarly gravitational pull in downward direction, mg. Now this is mass m. Now we can carry calculation for this as, from this diagram you can see that this net force, because of this acceleration, the net force is adding with this tension T. So clearly from this diagram it is clear that acceleration is in upward direction, so tension in the string will be greater than this weight of the body. So for this we can perform the calculation as F net equal to net force acting on this will be equal to T minus mg. Now what is by Newton's second law of motion? The net force is given by ma. Ma is equal to T minus mg. Now by rearranging this equation we get T equal to ma plus mg. T equal to ma plus w. So this means that weight is less than the tension, because when we add something with the weight, instead of mg we can write w. So when we add something with this w, we will get tension T. So from this equation, it is clear that T or tension force, which is the apparent force, will be greater than W. So hence, when lift move in upward direction with certain acceleration, the apparent weight is increasing. Apparent weight in this case will be greater than the real weight. Let me explain it once again. You see that when the lift is moving in upward direction with certain acceleration, what will happen? We will get F net equal to T minus mg or T minus w. So by performing these calculations, we conclude that in this case the apparent weight will increase. Means apparent weight will be greater than that of real weight. Now let me explain the third case as In third case, we will discuss when the lift is moving in downward direction, then what will happen? Lift move in downward direction. Third case is lift move downward. Let me redraw the diagram of the lift. Say suppose this is a lift. Here is a mass M attached to a scale. This is a spring balance having a scale, and a mass M is attached with this scale. This is mass M. Now acceleration is in downward direction. Acceleration is in downward direction. Similarly, the tension in the string will be in upward direction and weight of the object mg will be in downward direction. So in this case, you can see that these two forces, the force because of this acceleration plus weight of the body will be added. So this weight will be greater in this case. So we see that net force in this case is equal to weight minus tension, or NA is equal to mg minus t. So how can we write? You can write here mg from the very start. Mg, we write mg forward. So this is mg minus t. Rearranging this equation, we get t equal to mg minus ma, t equal to w minus ma. Clearly, from this equation, we can see that weight is greater than tension in the string, because when we subtract when we subtract something from the weight, then it will be equal to the tension. So we can say that T is less than W. This equation shows that the real weight, the apparent weight is decreasing. The apparent weight is decreasing. Because the real weight is greater than the apparent weight. So let me explain these three cases once again. We have studied about three cases. Here is a weight or a mass in a lift. When the lift is at rest, we see that both real and apparent weight are equal. Now when the lift is moving with some acceleration in upward direction, then the apparent weight is increasing. So apparent weight will be greater than that of real weight. The needle will show greater weight. Now if the lift is moving in downward direction, what will happen? The apparent weight will be less than that of real weight. Now what will happen if the lift move with acceleration due to gravity? If the lift move freely as a free falling body. So this is the fourth case when the lift falling freely. This is the fourth case. Case number 4. Lift falling freely. Lift falling freely. What will happen in this case? When the lift is falling freely, you will observe this for free place of falling case. Let me explain with this diagram. The case is same. This will be mg and in downward direction, this is tension in the string which is in upward direction, and the lift is falling freely. So in this case, acceleration of the lift will be equal to g, because we know that acceleration of free falling body is gravitational acceleration, or A equal to what? G. For free fall, A will be equal to G. So let me derive the formula for weight. In this case, T will equal to W minus mg. Sorry, in this case, for this case, we have the same formula. If net here, in this formula, you can put the value of A. For this case, T equal to, we have proved that T equal to mg minus ma. Taking m common, we get m into g minus a. For free falling body, we know that A equal to minus G. So putting the value of A here, we will get T equal to M G minus G. Instead of A, we can put the value as G. So T equal to M, G minus G is equal to 0. So T equal to 0. This means that apparent weight is 0. Apparent weight is 0 when lift fall freely. When lift fall freely, the apparent weight will be equal to 0. So dear student, from this equation, it is clear that free falling bodies are weightless. You can put the value of A, which is G for free falling body. So T equal to M G minus Ma will become 0. So the free falling bodies are weightless. You can see here. After that, let me. So dear students, now this is the end of this topic and as well as this chapter, which is chapter number 5, which is about rotational motion, angular and rotational motion. So let me solve some numerical problem of the exercise. Let me wrap it first. Chapter number 5. Exercise numericals. Question number 1 from your exercise. Numerical problems of chapter number 5. In question number 1, it is stated that if the plate of microwave oven has a radius of 0.15 meter and rotates at 6.0 revolution per minute, calculate the total distance traveled by the flight during a 2-minute cooking period. So first of all, to solve this numerical, we will write the given data, the thing which is given in the numerical. So given data is What is given? It is stated that if the plate of microwave oven has a radius of 0.1 meter, so it means that radius R is given, which is equal to 0.15 meter, and rotates at 6.0 revolution per minute. So revolution per minute is the unit for angular velocity. So we can write this omega angular velocity is how much? 6.0 revolution per minute. So dear student, here we have to convert this revolution per minute into radian per second, because radian per second is this a unit for omega. So we know that one revolution is equal to one complete round trip, which is 2 pi radian. One revolution is 2 pi radian, started from here and again reached to here. So we have to write 2 pi radian instead of revolution, and also we know that 1 minute is equal to how much? 60 seconds. So we have to replace this revolution per minute by radian per second, as omega is equal to 6.0 multiplied by 2 pi radian divided by what? 60 seconds. So we will get omega is equal to, by performing this calculation, we will get omega is equal to 6 multiplied 2 pi divided by 60. So at the end 0.63 is the result. So 0.63. Omega equal to what? 0.63 radian. Let me write it clear here. Omega equal to 0.63 radian per second. We just convert this revolution per minute into radian per second, so we get 0.63 radian per second. What is given? It is stated the total distance traveled by the flight during a 2-minute cooking period. So time is also given. T equal to how much? 2.0 minute, which is equal to 2.0 multiplied by 60, because we have to convert this minute into second. We get 120 second. So remember, in this numerical problem, 3 things is given. Radius of the plate of microwave oven, which is 0.15 meter, and angular velocity is given, which is 6 revolution per minute. Converting this revolution per minute into radian per second, we get 0.63 radian per second, and also the time is given, which is 2 minutes or 120 seconds. Now what is required? This is given data. What is required? We have to calculate distance traveled in these 2 minutes, sorry. So distance traveled by flight, distance traveled is, we have to calculate the value of this distance traveled is. Now how can we calculate? We know by a formula that is equal to r theta. Yes student, solution of this to this problem is we know that is equal to r theta, r x equal to r theta, which is the relationship between linear and angular displacement. So also we know that omega is equal to theta divided by t, or theta is equal to omega t, because we are given that angular velocity is 6 revolution per minute, so we have to convert this angular displacement into angular velocity as. So instead of theta we can write omega t, so we get is equal to r omega t. Putting values here, say suppose this is equation 1, putting values here we get what we get is equal to, what is the value of r? Here 0.15 meter, so r is 0.15 meter, or you can write the unit at the end, 0.15, alright, here meter multiplied by, what is the value of omega? Omega in radian per second is 0.63 radian per second. And what is the value of time? T, which is equal to 120 second. Now, dear student, we can calculate this as, let me rewrite it, is equal to 0.15 multiplied by 6, multiplied by 0.63 multiplied by 120 is equal to, by carrying out this calculation, you will get 11 meter. So S will be equal to 11 meter. Let me calculate this. By performing this calculation, we get 11 and the unit of this is meter. So this is the value for calculating the distance. Now in second question, it is stated that a circular drum of radius 40 centimeter. Question number 2. Given data is a circular drum of radius 40 centimeter. So radius is given, which is equal to 40 centimeter, or to convert this into meter we get 0.4 meter. We have to divide this 40 by 100 to convert into meter. So 0.4 meter is initially rotating at 400 revolution per minute. So initially rotating, the initial angular velocity omega I is given, which is equal to how much? 400 revolution per minute. You have to convert this revolution per minute into radian per second is 400 multiplied by 1 revolution is equal to how much radian? 2 pi radian. Divided by per minute means 60 seconds. So we will get omega I, our initial angular velocity, 400 multiplied 2 pi radian divided by 60. So it is approximately equal to 41.87 radian per second. This is 41.87 radian per second. After that, it is stated that it is brought to stop making 50 revolution. Mean after 50 revolution this is stopped. So final angular velocity will be equal to 0. Now how much revolution? Numbers of revolution. Number of revolution is represented by theta, which is equal to how much? 50 revolution. Now in 50 revolution we have to convert into radian. We can convert this revolution into radian as theta equal to 50 multiplied 2 pi radian. This 50 multiplied 2 pi will be equal to 100 multiplied by pi, which is 3.14. So 314 radian. 314 radian will be this 50 revolution. What we have to calculate? We have to calculate angular acceleration and time. We have to calculate what? Angular acceleration required is what is the angular acceleration and the stopping time. So we have to calculate these two values, angular acceleration, which is represented by symbol alpha, and what? Stopping time, t. Let me explain this once again. We are given that a circular drum of radius 40 centimeters. So directly you have to write r equal to 40 centimeters and convert it into meter, which is equal to 0.14 meter. This drum is initially rotating at 400 revolution per minute. So 400 revolution per minute is converted to radian per second. As instead of revolutions we can write 2 pi radian, and instead of meter we can write 60 seconds. So it is approximately equal to 41.87 radian per second. And after that it is stated that it is brought to stop. Mean after that much time it stops. So omega f, our final angular velocity, will be equal to 0, and it complete how much revolution? 50 revolution. So this is angle theta equal to 50 revolution, and we have to convert this into radian. So just multiply 2 pi radian. Instead of revolution we can write 2 pi radian. 2 multiplied by 50 is 100, multiplied by pi is 314 radian. Now we have to calculate alpha and t. Alpha is angular velocity and t is the stopping time. Now how to calculate? We, by third equation of motion, solution to question number 2 is here. Here we can write the solution to this question. Alright. By third equation of motion, or simply write we know that 2a is, to convert to rotational motion, 2 alpha theta equal to omega x square minus omega I square. This is the third equation of motion for rotational motion. So putting the values in this equation, we get 2 alpha, what is theta? 314 radian. Omega f is 0 and omega I is 41.87 whole square. So we will get 2 multiplied by 340, which is equal to 628 alpha. This is 628 alpha is equal to minus 41.87 square is 1753. 1753. Now we have to divide both sides by 628, so we will get alpha 628. This will cancel out, so alpha is equal to minus 1753 divided by 628. By carrying out this calculation, minus 1753 divided by 628. So we get minus 2.79. Minus 2.79 radian per second square. This is the value of angular acceleration. We apply this third equation of motion for rotational motion and we get the value of alpha. What does this negative sign represent? The negative sign show that speed or velocity is decreasing. The object velocity decrease, so deceleration is produced in this object. After that we have to calculate the stopping time. How to calculate the stopping time? We have to apply the first equation for rotational motion. Also we know that omega f is equal to omega I plus alpha into t. This is the rotational motion. We have converted this equation v equal to vi plus at to angular rotational form. Omega f equal to omega I plus alpha into t. So how can we calculate this t? We get from this equation alpha into t is equal to omega f final angular velocity minus omega I, which is initial angular velocity. So t is equal to omega f minus omega I divided by what? Alpha. So putting values in this equation 2. Putting values here. Putting values in this equation, we get t equal to, what is the value of omega f? From given data, the value of omega f is 0 and the value of omega I is 41.87. So putting here 0 minus 41.87 divided by, what is the value of alpha? You can put the value of alpha from this equation, which is minus 2.79. This minus will cancel with this and we will get minus will be equal to plus. So we get t is equal to minus 41.87 divided by minus 2.79. So we get 15.0 seconds. So the stopping time is equal to 15.0 seconds. That will be the required stopping time. So dear student, we have solved these two numerical from chapter number 5 exercise. Inshallah, in next lecture we will solve the remaining numerical. Now it is enough for today. Thank you for listening. Thanks a lot.